Welcome to Sunday School for Sunday, June 18th, 2023. For our junior high students, ages 12 to 14, I do not own the rights to this music. The title of today's story, True Celebration. Every New Year's Eve, Kyra, Caleb, and Valencia make plans to meet at the church's watch night service. They sit together to crack jokes, tweet silly commentary, and play music on their phones while the rest of the members pray in the new year. They go back to the sanctuary just as prayer ends to join the others for midnight breakfast. They consider this their tradition. This week, the three are visiting Hampton University with their youth group to celebrate Juneteenth. Juneteenth, the oldest known celebration of the ending of slavery in the United States, started in 1865, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. For 2 years, many African Americans did not know they were free. Messengers bringing word of freedom were delayed or killed to maintain enslaved Confederate workforces. In 1862, African American Christians began celebrating Watch Night in anticipation of the end of slavery, watching for freedom. At Hampton, the youth group visited the Emancipation Oak, where enslaved Africans around Hampton, Virginia, gathered to hear the reading of the Emancipation Proclamation and learned of their freedom. When Kyra stood under the Emancipation Oak, she got very quiet. She imagined how it would have felt to sit under that tree, to hear words that would change her life, words that would make her free. She realized that every new year, she sat in a church service that honored her ancestors, their lives, and their prayers. She started to cry. Kyra decided that she would change how she celebrated Watch Night with her friends. Instead of clowning around, she wanted to genuinely honor God, her ancestors, and herself. The memory verse for today's lesson. Wherefore, the Lord said, For as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. And that's Isaiah chapter 29, verse 13. The lesson scripture is coming out of Isaiah chapter 29, verses 9 through 16. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. Wherefore the Lord said, For as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work, and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, Who seeth us? And who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Meaningless worship. In our scripture, Jerusalem is being warned against pretending to be sincere in worship. People often follow rituals because it is tradition. They want to impress others or they feel it is expected. But sometimes their routines are empty and have no meaning. It is important to learn the reasons and significance for certain traditions. Traditions in worship connect us to other believers, ancestors who came before us, and most importantly, to God. Personal comprehension of rituals and reflection on a personal relationship with God are what allow for true learning and understanding of God's ways. How to be genuine in worship. Number 1, reflect on why you practice certain rituals you are involved in. Number 2, thank God for those who came before you and laid foundations for you. And number 3, commit yourself to faithfully honoring God. Psalms 23, and this is the King James Version. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What does this scripture mean to you? And you can ask for help from a grown-up. In our story today, Kyra and her friends fall into the same trap that most people do when it comes to honoring tradition. When something is done over and over, it becomes easy to take it for granted and go through the motions. They have probably joined others for annual watch night services for many years. However, the significance of the practice didn't hit home for Kyra until she stood in the place where her ancestors stood. A true understanding of religious rituals and their root and intention allows a deep connection and appreciation for God for the opportunity to participate. In Isaiah chapter 29, Jerusalem is playing church, turning sincere practices created to honor God into performances. The Israelites are warned that eventually it will become obvious who is truly serving God and looking after the needs of others, and who is performing to impress others while seeking to fulfill their own selfish needs. This week, think about some traditions that your family follows. Ask a family member why that practice is significant and what it means. Return to your classes next week, prepared to share what you found out. This week, Monday, the topic is fruitless worship. Read Isaiah chapter 1, verses 10 through 17. Tuesday, the topic is worshiping our own achievements. Read Isaiah chapter 2, verses 5 through 17. Wednesday, the topic is lives untouched by religious observances. Read Isaiah chapter 58, verses 1 through 7. Thursday, the topic is refusing to listen. Read Jeremiah chapter 13, verses 1 through 11. Friday, the topic is tuning out God. Read Zechariah chapter 7, verses 8 through 14. Saturday, the topic is receiving the word. Read Luke chapter 8, verses 9 through 15. Sunday, the topic is hearts far from God. Read Isaiah chapter 29, verses 9 through 16. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.